This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten, here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Worry is a thin stream of fear trickling through the mind. If encouraged, it cuts a channel into which all other things drain into. Ah, man, isn't that a good one? Worry is a thin stream of fear trickling through the mind. If encouraged, it cuts a channel into which all other thoughts are drained into. Oh man, I love that. It's from Arthur Summers Roche. And it's so true. When you are a worrywart, you focus on, you create more of, right? So if you are focusing on worry, it becomes this thin little stream of water. And what happens to the thin stream of water? It starts to cut away the rock, and pretty soon it becomes the Grand Canyon of all kinds of worry and strife. And you don't have to go there, right? You don't have to be a worrywart. You don't have to worry about anything in life, because if you really are focused on what, if you really trust that God has it, you don't have to worry about anything in life. All right. Today we're going to be talking about worrying less. So welcome to Public House Media. Welcome to Choose to Rise. I am so glad that you're here with me today. And I am just pumped to be able to come talk to you about this, because it's one of the things that I tell people most often: what you focus on, you create more of. And if you want to worry less in your day, if you want to get rid of the things that are going to steal your happiness the most, get rid of worry. Worry doesn't take any away of tomorrow's troubles. It just takes away today's peace. And so when you are thinking about all what could happen, start thinking about what could happen in the positive instead of worrying about all the negative things that could happen. You're going to manifest the bad. So manifest some good instead. If you want to connect with me more, head over to chooseToRiseUp.com. It's getting a little bit of a facelift here soon, so I'd love for you to go check that out. And if you also can find me on Facebook at Choose to Rise Up, and hit follow along there, and let's interact there as well. But I love coming here live on Public House Media to share with you and encourage you and support you. And today we're going to be talking about less worry. All right. So how do you worry less? How do we get past those kinds of things? Well, there's a lot of things that people worry about. There's a lot of things that people really put time and energy into that aren't serving them. And what really have to think about is that God has equipped us to be who we are supposed to be. He's equipped us with everything that we need to have an abundant life, to have an inspired life, to live life well. We just have to tap into those things and not of the worldly things that people think we need, right? So when we think about all of those things, there are a few things that I want to share with you today about how to worry less. I got 5 little tips for you, okay? The first one is to recognize that worrying is not helping you, but it's actually draining your energy and stressing you out. When you think about things that could be from a negative light, like, oh, I could hurt myself, or, oh, that I could waste my money there, or, oh, I could, and that your mind goes into a downward spiral, and that's where all of your energy goes. And that really does that make you feel good? No, it never makes you feel good. I try to get my kids to recognize this when they're frustrated or they're unhappy. I'm like, do you feel good right now? Like, let's think about that right now. What would make you feel good? And then we think about other things, and we talk about positive things, and we get ourselves out of it, recognizing that worrying is not helping you, but draining your energy and stressing you out. The second thing that I have for you is start noticing when you're worrying and give yourself permission to stop. Remind yourself regularly that you are worth it. You are equipped with good. You are empowered with God's graces and amazing pieces of life and gifts inside of you, of blessings. He's given you everything you need. And so start noticing when you're worrying and give yourself permission to stop. The third one is practice 20 minutes of daily mindfulness meditation. Teach yourself how to let go of those thoughts. It's about catching yourself, and it's about redirecting them. So when I have something of worry come up, if I have something of, like, oh my goodness, kind of thoughts, I have to catch myself in that moment and then redirect it and to think about something else. So like just the other night, I woke up from a bad dream, and I don't know, I had this negative kind of thing going into my head. And it 100% was from the TV. We were watching that before I went to sleep. But anyway, what you put in your head matters. When I woke up, I had these negative thoughts swirling in my head, like this bad dream, right, was going through me. And so every time I laid down and closed my eyes, it was right there again. So I had to refocus myself and being super mindful about what I wanted to let go of and what I wanted to focus on instead. Now, for me, the thing that really helps is to focus on Christian music. Putting a positive song into my head, or focusing on scripture, or listing out all the blessings that have been a part of my day, or thinking about a piece of time in my day or my week or in my life that has brought me great joy. When you can focus on the things that are of love and of acceptance and of beauty, when you can focus on the things that bring you joy in your life, you can let go of all the stuff. There's no room for both fear and doubt with love and joy. Okay, so you have to move them back and forth throughout your heart and mind. The fourth one is make distinction between a real problem and an imagined scenario that hasn't even happened yet. Like if you have $0 in the bank account, that's different than worrying if you're going to have $0 in the bank account. So like if you have a broken leg, that's different than worrying that you're going to get a broken leg. You have to be focused on the good in order for the good to happen in your life. But make a distinction between the real problem and an imagined scenario. Just because you're imagining it doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. But just because it's a thought that goes through your head, you have to but if you continue to focus on things, like I'm kind of contradicting myself in other things, but like what you focus on, you create more of. When you focus on, you create in your life, and you will manifest things if you constantly think about them. So if you're constantly thinking about all the negative things, all the worry, all the drama, all of the, oh my goodnesses, then those are going to be the things that show up for you for real. But if you can catch yourself in those moments of like this imagined scenario that my kid's going to fall off the monkey bars and break their neck, like probably not going to happen. But, if you think that enough, you're going to let fear take you out of a lot of situations in your life where you are limiting your value, limiting your opportunities, limiting your chances to be successful at life. The fifth tip I have for you is be patient with yourself. Learning how to worry less takes time. And really, when it comes down to it, you're really focusing on being more positive. You're focusing on living a healthier life. When you're focused on, redirecting the energy to something positive instead of something where you're focusing on the negative, it takes a little bit of time to get there. So don't think that just by listening to this podcast today, or just by, practicing this to one day today, that you're going to like snap worry out of your system. That's so not true. In fact, we're broken people living in a broken world, and the society constantly is trying to breed fear into us with news and social media and other things like that. So it's a constant battle all the time. So be patient with yourself, be patient with the people around you, learn how to worry less over time. Make the distinction between a real problem and an imagined scenario in your life, and then work towards being mindful of the meditation or being mindful of the positive things that are going on in your life, and let go of the negative thoughts. Be a part of, really start noticing that when you are worrying, give yourself permission to stop that behavior and remind yourself regularly that you are loved, you are cared for, you are taken care of, and that you have everything you need inside of you to do what you need to do. One thing that I like to do when I'm really focusing on something, whether it's something that I want to manifest into my day, or if it's something that I want to accomplish in my life, what I do is pull out my my alarms on my phone, and I will set an alarm to kind of go off and remind me. On Saturday mornings at 10:30 every morning, I give an alarm that comes on my phone that says, "Why not me?" And that's just a reminder of my business and my leadership and the opportunities that are in front of me. And it reminds me of, why not me? Why can't I be what I want to be? Why not me that I want to be who I want, like accomplish the goals that I have set for myself? We have some big goals set for ourselves in our business this year, in our family life. And why not me, right? Think about those things. And then other ones that I have set for myself are, what am I grateful for? And there are some days that goes off like every 2 hours, like you can set it as a timer. And then it just, when it ticks down every every 2 hours timer, you sit down, it goes off and it reminds you to be grateful. You can do things like that will help you, worry less, that will help you put more positivity into your day, which will cause you to worry less about life. And when you can just be confident in who God made you to be and confident in who you are as an individual and where you stand in this life, that's where worry goes away from. Because when you can focus on the good, worry just doesn't happen. And it's not about worrying less, it's about focusing on more good. And that's where God's made you to be wonderful. That's where God's made you to be the most beautiful, unique individual. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. And that's how you worry less. You focus on the good things that God's given you. So if you like today's episode, if you like this show, if you want to find more episodes or past content, you can head over to Choose to Rise Up on Apple Podcasts or on Podbean. Check out our Public House Media store page where you can get good t-shirts or phone covers or anything, merchandise to show off that you love Choose to Rise. And what I would really love is if you would share this with a friend, like or comment here on the video and the podcast, and I'd be able to connect with my listeners and be a part of who you are and what you're doing in life and what it is that you want to hear more of here on Choose to Rise. So thanks so much for joining me this morning. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day and that we'll see you here again next time.